forever, tomorrow and eternity. Yeah, yeah. Was it all a waste of time? I don't really wanna say, but you gotta stop and wonder. Now I'm going with the flow, 'cause you forced me out the door. I could never let you take me under. You'll be staring at the eyes of love. One day you're gonna
Hello, Gary's video camera, and we're basically here at Pennington's in Bradford.
How you doing?
How you doing? How you doing? You know, I'm really starting to hate you. I'm really starting to hate you now, Howie.
Gotta hate you rich people with the cameras and all the crap.
Hi. ¿Cómo está, ven? Hey, ¿cómo está la cosa, baby? Aquí estamos en Manchester, mira.
Howie! 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 Jeffrey! Howie!
Gary!
Howie!
Hey.
Huh?
What?
Yeah.
Hey.
Happy.
Joy.
Oh! Bro, where you going? Shut up, Earl.
I'll be waiting right by your side.
What? Hey!
Blick 'em, black 'em, black 'em, black 'em, black 'em.
Oh, yo!
We are forever, you and I.
Frankie Banali, Vinny, Epis,
Hold on.
Jason Freeze, you know him?
2002.
What's the matter with you?
What's the matter with you?
Over G.
You're in the blackout!
I had to let go of it.
At the time, your flight attendants will be coming through the aisles to distribute the proper document.
Isn't there?
Realize
From
it's
arrival
only
to
how many minutes.
Manchester.
Yeah, I'm ready for a show.
Come on, dude. We're trying to cheat. She has none of this information.
Go ahead.
He's gonna kind of like take over.
Crushing head, I'm crushing your head, I'm
Oh no.
Crush
the head.
Crushing your head,
Art Vandalay.
Art Vandalay.
Art Gallery.
Art Linkletter.
David Letterman? Saskatchewan?
Shit.
Don't you?
Sarsaparilla? Yeah!
What's the difference between a priest and a pimple? A pimple doesn't come on a boy's face till he's 13.
Suckable. Seriously suckable.
Fear leads to the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. Suffering leads to this. This leads to that. Ah! It all leads to death.
Oh my god.
Do that again.
Everybody say big in Japan.
My jacket, the pillow.
Don't hit me anymore, Ron! Don't hit me again, please!
What are you doing? What's going on here? Give me a pen that doesn't work. What's the matter with you?
That's the Jeff that we know and love.
Lucky five! Media!
Now it's time for the real way of drinking the Swedish way.
Yes.
I feel so violated. Come on, Gary, say something funny.
Something funny. What? What now?
Who are you talking about?
Get out of here, I'm all shout.
Bitch!
Bitch.
Losers!
What?
What are you doing?
What about it?
Hey guys, come on, get along.
Hey, you should have got that on film. That was perfect.
Shut up. Get out of here.
Turn that camera off.
Did you put your thumb in front of the fucking lens like my mom?
Hey, get out of here! What?
Oh man. cocky balls.
Who the hell are you and why am I introducing you? What are you doing over here?
Fuck, we suck. God damn it, I can't sing anymore.
I just get mad. DVD. Film me getting my picture taken.
Film you getting your picture taken. You guys played all my favorite songs. I love you. What are you talking about?
What you talking about, Willis? Look at the road manager.
Fucking guitar players. Stop being so goddamn bitter, okay? It wasn't that funny this time. What was the point?
What happened?
This will be the end while the credits are rolling.
You don't know what I'm on my mind. I'm on the cymbals. Why is it still up there? Where's the cymbal at? What, for what?
It's not Mexican, it's more like, Aren't you sick of us yet?
That's all, folks.
Howie! 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 Howie!
We're talking with Jeff Scott Soto, who's just capped off an incredible year, 2002. He started off the year with his acclaimed Humanimal project earlier this spring. Just a few weeks ago, in November 2002, he released his second acclaimed solo album, Prism, and he's just come away from a triumphant debut at the Gods 2002 Rock Festival, the lion's share of which makes up this DVD. So Jeff, you've been recording and touring now for some 18 years. How is it that after so long you've only now made your debut with British fans?
It's actually something I've been longing for quite some time now. It's never really had any kind of real following or any kind of real support from the UK or have even done any shows. The only show I'd actually performed there before the God show was at the Marquee Club back in, I was 85, the first Yngwie tour. So it's considerable long amount of time that's passed since my first sort of sighting there. I guess there have been a soiree of fans that have accumulated through the years there, but I haven't really known or felt that actual presence up to now. And the Gods thing just kind of solidified the fact that there were enough fans out there to actually to further and complete more of what I've been trying to accomplish the past few years in the UK. Because it seems like the more Western or the central part of Europe have taken on everything that I've done, and I've never even known that I've had one or two fans in the UK, and I guess the Gods thing kind of solidified the fact that we do.
Now, you weren't an artist on the Frontiers Records roster at the time that you did Gods, is that right?
Yeah, it was kind of like it was a debut for both of us. Just the fact that I've now signed to Frontiers for my solo stuff, as well as the kind of a debut of re-entering the whole UK thing.
Are you surprised by the level of support you received from Frontiers? Was it their idea to include you in the Gods lineup?
I believe so.
Really push the product?
I think it was. It was kind of a double whammy, so to speak. It's kind of the introduction of now that I'm with Frontiers Records, and also the fact that they knew that kind of billing would be perfect for me in a solo outing. The fact that I was kind of lumped in with all these other amazing AOR type of bands, that the kind of show that I was putting on would be perfect for what they were doing at this festival.
It was obviously a milestone in your career.
Absolutely.
What did you have in mind when you were putting together your set list?
Originally, I had no idea what I would choose for as far as the songs. I mean, if you gave me the idea of putting a set list or a set order together, I would come up with something that probably 80% of the fans would frown upon. They'd probably say, well, why is he playing that? But that's me, because I obviously have my own personal favorites compared to what maybe the fans do. But I also, as well, all the songs that I did choose, I'm actually a big fan of just the same. So it was easy to let the fan base kind of predict what I was going to put together as far as the songs, as far as what I wanted to present and how I wanted to present it.
Right.
And that's really how I went. I went with asking a few fans or asking a few people what they would want to hear in an ultimate JSS type of set.
Did you have to make a tough decision of picking songs not to include? I mean, something you really wanted
absolutely.
to do.
I mean, especially given the time frame for the God show was, they said you basically have about an hour set, and the kind of set that I would do if we were taking this out on the road we'd easily go over 2.5 hours, just based on we have to throw that in, we have to throw that in. So condensing it to what we were doing, it was difficult not to play certain songs. But on the other hand, there were certain medley things that I put together that kind of included a lot of those songs.
Now, part of your band included Gary Schutt on bass. He was in Takara, you were in Takara. Why no Takara songs in the set list?
Again, that was part of condensing the set based on songs I had to play compared to songs that I thought might go over, or maybe just a handful of people might know. And just to clarify, I mean, Gary wasn't as much in the band Takara as he was kind of brought in to complete the album, complete the lineup for the first album. As most people know, or most people might know, Gary is an accomplished guitar player on his own, and he's actually just an overall musician, and that's why I brought him on, being the producer of the all the Takara albums in the beginning of my involvement. I brought him in just to kind of complete the picture. I needed somebody that could do the parts, but also worked as far as the image of the band. And the same thing as far as clarifying my involvement with Takara. I've never actually been the actual member of the band. It was just kind of they brought me in to finish the painting, so to speak. A lot of the record company politics were based on my voice and my involvement singing on it as well as producing it. So that was one of the reasons why I even did those Takara records in the first place.
Let's set the scene, or the stage, if you will. House lights are down, your intro music is going, crowd is restless, anxious. You're getting ready to walk on stage into a new phase in your career. What's going through your mind?
Well, for so many years, so many people have asked me, do you ever get nervous before a show? Do you still get nervous before a show? I've never, ever been able to answer, yes, I'm nervous before a show, until the God show.
Really?
And most of my career is because either I've been with somebody like Yngwie Malmsteen, or I've been with a band as a backup, as a backbone. Basically everything that I've ever done has always been with others that were as visually stimulating in the band, or there were people there to see them as much as they were there to see me. I've never really felt that nervousness before, until finally it dawned on me just before going on stage that they're there to see me. You know, they're watching. The focal point of the show is going to be me.
Right.
Everything that's going to happen is going to be either my fault or my glory. So I was excited and paranoid at the same time. It was a double whammy of emotions that was going on, and it was pretty scary.
Now, you've played festivals before. How is this one different, other than just everything being on your shoulders under your name?
Well, that was also the scary part of the situation, was the fact that we had no sound check. We had we literally rehearsed 3 days before the actual show, so we had like three rehearsal days, and the guitar player Howie had never even met the other two guys ever before. So it was kind of it was an introduction. Throw them into this little rehearsal room and let's try to make a real show out of this. And I'm actually amazed that we pulled it off the way we did.
What kind of response have you gotten from fans who saw you at Gods?
Extreme response. I mean, I'm not one for gloating or boasting about anything, but the word was that I was the god of the day, or I forgot what the exact term was. But between some of the more headlining oriented bands of the night, that we were basically one of the ones that stole the show. So it was very cool to...
what songs do you really think end up hitting home after looking back at the show?
Again to Be Found was a good one, because it brought Pontus Norgren on stage with us. The acoustic set to me was a highlight as well. That to me was like bare bones, stripped down, and just the way we went into it and did all these songs that I wanted to do in the normal set and pulled it off unplugged acoustically was amazing for me.
Were you heckled at any point?
No, not at all. There was a section in the show that somebody said something, but I kind of turned it around and somebody said amazing or something like that in the audience, and I made it sound like, oh, somebody said we suck.
Now, you play all kinds of good guitar and keyboards on the Prism.
Yeah.
Why not in the live show?
I'm more visually stimulating if I'm just doing my show and doing my thing. To put a guitar around me or to put a keyboard in front of me, I'm just in front of a mic. I'm not really doing what I do. And especially for this kind of outing, the God show, it's just like go in there and you basically you got to go in and go out. There's no real time to establish any kind of mood or time in your set, because you're so limited in the time.
When Now and Then approached you to do the Gods Festival, had it already been decided that a live recording was going to come from it?
Yes and no. Because they film and record that every festival anyways, and I believe they do release a compilation of all the Gods shows as one DVD or as one live album type of thing. But when they said they were going to film it anyways, and they were trying to convince me it was a good thing for me to do and everything, I said, well, what else can we get from the actual performance? Is there something else we can get from the fact that they're filming it live? And now I guess it's become such a regular thing. It's become such a standard now that a lot of bands are doing these live DVDs or home DVDs that they said, well, would you want to do something like that? And I got really excited about wanting to be a part of it.
That was part of your decision to do it?
Absolutely.
By now fans have this DVD in their hands of the 2002 God Show. And there's a couple extra features you worked pretty hard to include on it. There's a couple videos, some backstage footage. What can you tell us about the videos you've included?
Well, the videos we shot for this purpose, but as well I insisted on the videos being used for the CD releases as well, as putting MPEG movies into the CDs, just because I'm all about giving the audience more bang for their buck. I mean, these people are just hardworking people they love music, they buy their music. And me as a music fan, I've always loved the bonuses and incentives and extra little things that were included in albums. I always looked for those kind of albums. And if there were an album from that band or that particular album released overseas that had those extras, I went out and got it. So I wanted to have something like this for the Prism album, and especially for the EP, to put these videos and actually include them into the CD. And of course, once we were doing the live DVD, I wanted to make sure that the full quality of the videos were going to be included as well.
Were they shot in and around your home?
Yeah, we basically shot both videos in the same day, and I mean, for a shoestring budget, everything was edited by Gary Schutt, who's a whiz at doing all that Apple stuff now. He's using all the tools on there. Just the fact that we can do videos the way they used to do them back in the day, you know, for all these major budgets, and I mean, it costs less than my monthly mortgage to do 2 videos. It's pretty insane to it.
Now, were the videos your idea or that of the label?
Mine, yeah. Knowing how quickly Gary pieces all this stuff together, I knew we could do it economically. And
so they didn't finance the videos?
Yeah, they financed it.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
The Cheers did.
Yeah, but it was my idea to convince them to finance it.
Right. There you go. Did you ever consider having Mark Bowles come in and lip sync to your vocals on your videos?
I wonder when that was going to come up.
Have you ever discussed that with Mark?
Briefly. He hated it. I remember back in the day when we spoke about it. Originally, they were actually going to bring him into the studio and redo the vocals, so that way he was lip syncing to his own vocal. But back then, with the Yngwie days, there was no focus or any kind of attention towards anybody but Yngwie. So to them, it didn't matter. It's like it could have been a girl singing, and they wouldn't have changed the vocal on there just because they really didn't put any kind of attention towards the other musicians or the singer or anything else if it wasn't Yngwie.
Well, for the few people that may not have gotten that reference, tell them what that was about.
Well, mostly, as most of you know, the I'll See the Light video was done with Mark Bowles in the video, but it was with my voice in the background because I'd recently left the band and they needed to do a music video. So they decided to get the replacement guy to lip sync to my voice.
Now, Prism came out on November 12th, 2002. 11th, okay. When did you actually start working on the album?
I started demoing everything up at the end of 2001 when I was originally supposed to do this album on another label, and when things didn't work out there, I continued to demo the songs based on the fact that I was going to find another label to eventually release this. And when Frontiers approached me, they approached me right as I was about to start looking for other labels to see if I could get interest on this. So it was the timing was impeccable on their part, because not only were they the perfect label for what I was looking for this, but the fact that they came to me and the fact that they were enthusiastic about releasing a solo album, or the interest of releasing a solo album for me, was I couldn't ask for a better situation.
Now, you surrounded yourself on this album with a lot of people who, in one form or another, have played a part in your past as well. Talking about Doug McCroy, we're talking about Jody Whitesides, Glenn Hughes, Gary Schutt. Can you tell me a little bit about how these people became involved in the album?
A lot of the people on the album, aside of Glenn Hughes, don't really have too much recognition behind their names. And I know a lot of talented people, aside of the ones that are already name players and the household names, that I'd rather get on my record or something that I'm doing and give them attention. If I can get them some kind of focus or some kind of attention in this music biz, that they're talented, they deserve to be heard. But a lot of the people, musicians on the album, are personal friends. I can't say enough nice things about them, except they were all chosen based on what I thought they could actually give to each song.
Do you want to cover anybody individually as far as just telling people where they may have seen them before?
Doug McRoy on bass on I Want to Take You Higher. I spent many years with him in the Boogie Nights, a disco band that played in and around the world, mainly in Las Vegas.
Brian Young,
I was in a band with Brian when I first left Yngwie back in '85 called L'Amour, and I've stayed in contact with Brian through the years. I've seen him continue his career with a lot of different things that I've either helped him with or that he's kind of gotten along the way from things that I've it's one of those things. He was an unknown player, but because of his exposure with me, he was able to get other little things going on. Now he's playing with David Lee Roth.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
And he was on the second Human Clay album.
Yeah, he played a solo on the Human Clay album. He also did a lot of disco gigs with the Boogie Nights organization, and one thing led to another. He was eventually in this Van Halen tribute band that got him the gig for David Lee Roth. So Brian's an amazing player, an amazing human being, and I'm glad to even be associated with him. Howie Simon, I've known Howie for years, but never really played with the guy until one time I have an annual Christmas party at my house, and we usually do a little drunk jam session at the end of the night. He picked up the guitar and oh my God, the guy can play. So when it came to doing the type of tour, the God Show, and this album, I decided to invite him along to actually perform on some of the stuff. And Howie's done some stuff with Ken Tamplin. Gary, of course, long history with Gary. Alex Papa plays another person who plays in the Disco Boogie Nights organization with Gary in a band in Tampa called Disco Inferno, and I filled in for their singer at a few of the disco gigs in the past, and thought, man, this guy's an amazing drummer. Again, another amazing drummer who's never really gotten the exposure. He's never really gotten out there, and this is his actual first album he's ever recorded.
Good.
He's done many demos and been in many bands, but this is the actual first released recording he's ever done. So I feel proud to even have him included in that, just because it's kind of like I de-virginized him.
That's something else. He's probably loving that.
Yeah, he was just having a blast the whole time, and he's kind of the funny bone of the band. He just keeps everybody just rolling and laughing. Between he and Gary, there's never a dull moment with this band. George Bernhardt plays on a track. He was the guitar player in the band Slam with me back in '91. It was a band I started after I left Eyes, just before rejoining Talisman for the second album. George has a long history with bands like Lee Aaron and Bo Nasty and Mustard Seeds. Alex Lorenz is a really good friend of mine, plays guitar on 3 tracks on the album. An amazing guitar player along the lines of like the Steve Lukather, Neil Schon kind of vibe, which was perfect for the songs that I have him play on. Jody Whiteside's my old roommate back in the day. We were roommates from like '94 until 2000 or something like that. And Jody's he's a great guitar player. He does his own solo albums. He's done a few band albums. He produces and writes and does everything on his own. He actually did all the camera work for the videos as well.
Now John Ellis also, you worked with him in Talisman and some other projects, and he's on the other side of the board.
Yeah.
Twiddling the knobs there.
Yeah, John's an extremely good engineer, great producer. He's got his own studio out in Acton, Massachusetts. That's coincidentally enough called Prism Sound. And when I worked with John finally for the first time he mixed the Truth album. He did some engineering on the recordings of the Truth and mixed the Talisman Truth album. I knew that I finally found somebody that I could work long term with. So for my album, I did most of the recordings myself. I was the main engineer or the main setup guy for all of that stuff. But when it came to mixing, I went straight to him, and he always seems to pull that rabbit out of the hat for me.
And your notable guest star on Prism, Glenn Hughes. Mm-hmm. Now with Glenn, you seem to share a certain common link, ball and chain, if you will. Mm-hmm. You're both inextricably linked to an era from your past.
Right.
How do you all deal with that? Did you talk a little about that with Glenn?
We've spoken about it for years. Glenn and I are both, we're frustrated soul singers deep down. We sing rock because we love the energy, we love, I mean, a lot of rock and roll, a lot of the hard rock stuff is derived from the old R&B's, gospel, the emotions behind it. I've known Glenn for a number of years, and we've actually discussed many a time a possible collaboration, a duet or something possibly work together, and I personally got tired of waiting. So when I was doing this album and I accidentally heard that song, I Want to Take You Higher, on the radio. I've always been a fan of Sly and Family Stone, and I know he was, or I know he is a big fan of that stuff, that when I heard the song I said, oh my God, that'd be a perfect vehicle for us to actually duet on. I called him on it within minutes. It was an immediate yes, we got to do this. We finally found the vehicle for us.
Do you remember the first song you ever wrote?
Not the actual first song, but one of the first songs I ever wrote, and it's kind of funny, is actually a variation of what's on the Prism album. The song By Your Side was originally a song called Whisper in My Ear.
I like the new title better.
The funny thing, when I was listening to some of the old archives, trying to choose some of my favorite songs that I'd written and never got released, never got recorded properly, that was one of them. And I always thought the progression of it was great, the melody was great, the lyrics had to go. The lyrics were completely redone, and even just the approach of the music was redone, because back then the original demo was, if there's a bigger word for embarrassing, that's the word for it.
How receptive was Yngwie Malmsteen to accepting ideas from other band members when you were first starting out with his band?
I think he's always receptive when he first starts working with somebody, until he realizes either one, they're completely out of the loop of what he's doing or is trying to do, or number two, if they try to be too controlling of what they're adding to Yngwie's band. Yngwie always needs to be in control of what he's doing, and rightly so. His sound and everything that he's created for himself is exactly what he's always wanted out of everything that he's done. Especially if you get a guy like me who's more R&B, soul. I mean, I listen to everything from Motley Crue to Marvin Gaye. That's not really going to sit too well with what Yngwie's doing, because his influences and some of those things might not necessarily gel with what he's thinking.
Had you ever heard of him when you first joined his band?
Absolutely. Oh my God. I would have killed to be in his band when I first auditioned or sent the initial demo tape to him to audition for him.
Did your parents think you were crazy joining up his band?
Not at all.
No.
Once I graduated high school, my mother basically just gave me the full go ahead, go be a rock star.
Did you have any delusions of grandeur when you joined his band?
Absolutely, and they were shot within weeks of being in his band. And it's actually one of the reasons that led me to leave his band, because the level of disrespect, not necessarily from him, it was mainly the powers that be, whether it be the label management, even production crews and touring crews. There would be absolutely no respect or no sense of camaraderie within the organization. I mean, the band, we were treated like the gum under the shoe. We were treated with the utmost lowest respect. There were so many reasons why it was an intolerable situation to be a part of. And then to actually be in a situation where you couldn't grow as an artist, I couldn't handle it. Even being with him for only 8 months, that to me was a lifetime. It was like graduating. I just graduated high school the year before, and it was like going back to kindergarten and learning or relearning everything that I already learned. It really just shattered my entire image of exactly what I thought it was going to be like.
Did your eyes end up being bigger than your wallet?
Oh, absolutely.
Given the relatively short amount of time you actually spend in his band, are you surprised by the level of allegiance that some of his fans still have toward you?
Absolutely. I mean, especially when you think of how many singers he has had with him, how many amazing singers he's had with him. The fact that I was there from the very beginning, I mean, we're talking 18 years ago, and so many albums, so many singers have come and gone, that people still consider me their favorite choice of Yngwie singers. It's quite overwhelming.
Yngwie can often seem aloof or unimpressed. Were there moments when you were recording a Marching Out album where, say, when you were recording your I'll See the Light Tonight vocals, where you just knew once you'd laid something down that you probably blew his socks off?
Yes. Yngwie has no reservation about letting you know how he feels, whether it's good or bad.
Now, following the completion of the Marching On album and the short Japanese tour, suddenly you're out of the band. What happened?
I got an offer to join up with Rudy Sarzo and Tommy Aldridge in a band that was eventually called Driver. I left Yngwie's band with the concept that this new thing would be more of a band, because everybody was coming from their own situation. You know, Rudy was coming from Quiet Riot, Tommy was coming from Ozzy, I was coming from Yngwie, and eventually I got Craig Goldie to leave Jafria to join us, and it was going to be like this super band. And being a super band, I realized, I thought, okay, everybody's going to have a say. This is going to be everything that I've been actually longing for. Why would I stay in a situation with Yngwie not getting paid, not getting respect, blah, 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 blah. The songs to me weren't strong. They weren't even in the direction that I thought were where I wanted to be, where I thought we were going to go with this. I guess I didn't really know where we were going to go direction-wise with the music, but what we were coming up with was completely the opposite of what I wanted.
Were you actually collaborating, or would everybody want to bring in their own songs?
We were collaborating. I didn't last more than 3 weeks with that situation. That's when I started the band L'Amour with Brian Young, my brother playing drums, and my best friend at the time, Steve Acosta, playing bass. And from L'Amour, while that was still going, that's when I was asked to rejoin Yngwie, because Mark Bowles, who replaced me in Yngwie's band, was fired in the beginning, like the first 2 weeks of the Trilogy tour.
So if your original tenure with Yngwie had been such a challenge, why go back?
Well, when I was asked to go back, things were a little different, because now I was actually in demand, in the sense of they needed somebody like ASAP. They didn't want to spend a week or two trying to find somebody and then have them learn the songs and audition them. They didn't have that kind of time. The tour was booked. They were opening for Triumph. They had this other tour with Iron Maiden. They had a whole headlining tour planned in Japan, the whole thing. There was no time to stop. So they knew they didn't really have a whole lot of position to push me around anymore. And this time I had a manager, a personal manager. I was able to go in with a contract that said I'm paid by this amount by this day. But everything was set up for me the way it should have been in the beginning. Would have given me more incentive to stay in the first place.
So when did Japanese guitarist Kuni Takeuchi come into the picture?
Kuni came into place after I was already officially out of Yngwie's band the second time, which I didn't leave, nor was I fired. It was just kind of the tour ended, and we'll call you if and when something's coming up. The next thing I had heard through the grapevine that the record company were linking him with Joe Lynn Turner, so once that was confirmed, I knew there was no further involvement with Yngwie. When Kuni came about, he was actually, there was supposed to be a dual management of Wendy Dio and Yngwie's manager, Andy Truman. They were both going to join powers and manage Kuni because they'd heard of his there was a lot of hype going on in Japan, and they were trying to get him crossed over to the States, kind of the same way they did with Yngwie, right, from Sweden to the States. So they were going to get involved with the whole situation, and I got the call from Yngwie's manager saying, I've got, you know, you're the perfect singer for what we're doing here, and we're going to be involved, and, you know, we'd like to get you involved. Once I got involved with it, the management situations kind of fell through, and I just stayed with it because by then we had the ball rolling between the songs and the album, and everything was set to go. So I stayed with him throughout the recording of the Looking for Action album. But again, it turned into that same thing where I was starting to get typecast as the guitar player singer. Everything, all the focal attention was on this Kuni character, which to me, I was sought after to be involved in this guy's band, but yet there didn't seem to be enough credibility for it wasn't a band, it wasn't a band name, it wasn't Kuni featuring Jeff. There was no real growing situation once again, and I found myself in that same corner that I was with Yngwie. It was another one of those situations, like many that we'll discuss down the line, that I got involved in something and then realized I have nothing in common with these people musically or even socially, and it's just something that I couldn't foresee many years down the line continuing with.
Right. At this point, were you worried about losing any of the momentum you'd been building up to that point?
Absolutely. Oh yeah, I was petrified of spending too much time doing something that I wouldn't be able to follow up with all the things that I had already done previously, because I can't really say there was a lot that I accomplished. Just the association with Yngwie was all I really had going for me. It's not like we had a platinum album under our belts that I could just turn it around and get all this other interest from. As the 90s approached, the struggles started becoming the the typecast or the association with Yngwie. If I wanted to get a gig that was more melodic or AOR or even pop oriented, my association with somebody like Yngwie Malmsteen was neoclassical metal. There's no way I would get hired or even looked at a second time based on that stereotype.
So when you did the Alex Massey album at the tail end of the 80s, Attack of the Neon Shark, was that just to keep your name out there while you moved on to the next thing, or?
That was one of the many sessions that came across my path. I was just asked along the way, "Hey Jeff, I'm doing something. Would you want to come in and do it with us?" So I did it.
1990 rolls around, and that's arguably one of the best years, or a real turning point, I guess, in your career. And 2 albums came out that year that fans are still excited about. One was the debut album by Talisman, and the other one was the debut album by Eyes. What can you tell us about Talisman when you first joined up with it?
Talisman started as an idea of Marcel's. It was kind of a pseudo solo album of his departure from the John Norum situation, because Marcel, when he left Yngwie's band, he went back to Sweden basically penniless, and John Norum had already left Europe at the time, and Marcel and he and the rest of the guys from the band have known each other for many, many years, since they were kids. John got involved with Marcel for his first solo album, in which Marcel co-wrote, or actually wrote, the entire album. So it was actually Marcel's writing style that finally established him. He had a gold record under his belt from the whole thing, and in departing from John Norum's band, he got a solo deal. But it wasn't going to be Marcel Jacob. He was going to entitle it. The original title for it was "Guitars on Fire." That was the working title of the thing. It was by fluke that I got involved, because originally Göran Edman, who was the singer for John Norum and then later on with Yngwie, he was supposed to be singing on this original Talisman stuff, but he decided to stay on with John Norum because he also departed John Norum's situation at the same time, since John was a singer as well, and I think John decided he was just going to sing from that point on, but decided he wanted Göran to stay. That Göran told Marcel, "Sorry, I can't do it now, I'm going to stay with John." And that's where I got the call from Marcel, and thanks Göran for leaving Talisman. It was another idea of doing a session album. It was going to be paid, flat fee, do the record, see you later, never hear from it again.
Really?
It was on a small label. It was only supposed to be released in Sweden. I was officially contracted with Eyes at the time, so I couldn't have followed up on it with anything anyways. I couldn't even do the actual recordings if it were on a major label. Luckily it was on a small label that I got permission to actually go do it. And it's exactly what it was. It's like, I saw my old buddy Marcel, I hadn't seen him in a few years, and we went our separate ways. Next thing I get a call from him. We had a song in the Swedish top 10 list that's number 7 and rising on the charts. What would you think about coming over here and doing some shows and follow up on some things? And their version of this show, Solid Gold, was like the weekly top 10, a weekly top 40 type of thing.
Yeah.
We actually did a performance piece on it for I'll Be Waiting.
Oh wow. Let's talk about Eyes for a minute. How did you guys end up on Curb Records, which is really a country affiliated label?
They're hugely successful with all their country artists, and they finally wanted to make the crossover into other arenas of music. And we were their guinea pig in the rock section. And they hired a small team of people that would be their staff that would make them more of a driving force in all areas of music instead of just country. And they failed miserably at it.
You did 2 sessions between 89 and 91 that you hid your identity when you did them. You didn't want fans to know about them. But of course, I mean, the cracks widen and people find out anyway.
Sure.
One of those was Scrap Metal and the other one was Christ the Conqueror.
Right.
Why did you have a veil of secrecy over these recordings?
Christ the Conqueror, that was supposed to be under secrecy anyways, because each member of that band were going under different names anyways. The majority of that band were former members of the Misfits. I guess it was a concept idea of everybody would have different characters, different names, and a character that goes along with their name, and there's a whole storyboard. It would have been like a traveling musical, so to speak, like a Tommy type of thing. And well, it wasn't supposed to be revealed that it was me playing this character anyways. It was, if I'd done it as a mainstay member, which they wanted me to do, I really did it just as a session thing when I was originally hired, but they tried to get me involved in doing it as a mainstay thing, but it just wasn't my cup of tea musically. They knew that me going into it, but they still wanted me to do the vocals because they knew that the power of my voice would be able to portray the songs the way they wanted them. Scrap metal, I mean, because of the content alone, that would make anybody not want to put their real name on it. The lyrical content anyways. The music was great, and just working with all those guys was a blast. It was just a lot of fun.
1992, moving on, found you hooking up with German guitarist Axel Rudi Pell. That's really kind of an about-face from Eyes and Talisman sound to Axel Rudi Pell's harder European sound.
That was also by accident. I got a call from somebody who he had contacted trying to get a hold of me to do just a road show. It was like a traveling Metal Hammer magazine road show of different bands, and he was invited to do it, but Rob Rock was working with Chris and Pelletieri. Rob Rock sang on his second solo album, and he couldn't commit to doing the tour. So I just got called and asked if I'd be interested in touring with him. And once that tour was over, we worked so well together, and he liked my involvement with it. He asked me if I'd want to actually do his next album.
So the tail end of '92 finds you recording the second Talisman album. Spring of '93, you have the next Axel Rudi Pell album. And then we're also greeted with the news that suddenly you're dealing with a third band, Takara. When in the world did you find time to have a third band added to your...
Once again, it was Neil Grusky was a really good friend. It was the same situation as Marcel. He had a bunch of songs, and he didn't have a band. He wanted to get these songs recorded, asked me if I wouldn't mind singing on them. He'd pay me to sing on them. I could use the extra bucks at the time. From there, he got interest through a Japanese label to actually do a full album's worth of material, but they said the only way to be interested in doing it, that Jeff sings on it. So I had to contemplate that based on all the other things that were going on, and make sure it wasn't something that was going to bite me in the ass later. And that's how the whole first album came about. It was basically a collection of the demos that we just mixed properly and did the overdubs properly. And from there it was successful enough that the label asked for a second album.
Now, you've always maintained that you're not a member, or weren't a member rather, of Takara. You co-wrote the songs, you produced the album, you sang all the vocals. You were the focal point.
Well, it's because the whole collaboration of Takara was Neil and I, and had they released the albums as Neil Grusky and Jeff Scott Soto, it would have made more sense at the time than releasing it as a band name. And that's why I don't associate myself as a band member of Takara, because I never committed myself to actually wanting to tour, actually wanting to even appear on band photos. I didn't want the focus for me to be in that band, and every time they did interviews or articles were written, it was just to be stressed that I'm the producer and backbone of the situation, but I'm not an actual member of the band.
If there's so much work to be done with Takara's sound originally, why? I mean, what did you find that appealed to you?
Well, when I first did it with him, it was only 4 songs, so it didn't take long. There wasn't too much work involved and too much. It was back then. I mean, if I had to do it now, I'd have to say no because of all the things that are on my plate. But back then, my plate could be piled and overpiled, and I'd still take it on just because I love the challenge of doing as much as I could, as much as people were interested in having me do. I didn't really think of it as work or as a chore. I did it because it was fun.
Was it hard not to repeat yourself?
That depends on if it sounds like I am repeating myself, because quite honestly, back then I didn't really feel like I was drawing much influence from one to the other. If I did it now, if you hear influences or even sporadic moments of something that you might have heard in the past, that's only because I'm basically, you hear the overall influence of everything that I've done coming out in all these little different things. But back then, I didn't really beg, borrow, steal from anything.
When you sit down to write a song, do you sit down and focus with the intent of writing a lyric out, or do they come to you in bits and pieces?
Usually the music dictates what I'm going to be writing lyrically. If I need a topic, I let the music just kind of tell me what I should be writing about, as opposed to having any kind of scratch pad of ideas saying, okay, well, I've got this lyric, yeah, that should work with that. I really have to listen to the song and vibe on exactly where it's taking me.
So mid-90s, I guess about 1995, from far out in left field comes the disco band Boogie Nights. Mm-hmm. How did you hook up with the Boogie Nights?
I've known those guys since they were a band called Roxanne, back in the late 80s. They had a deal signed, they were signed, did an album flopped, they got dropped. They changed their sound completely, changed the lineup, and within that lineup change, they used to do the song Play That Funky Music in their, they did it on their record and they did it live in their regular set. And it was a highlight of the night because the way they did it is they melded in a bunch of different disco songs within the song. It was kind of a medley with that song in it. People loved it because they would do Bee Gees, they do all these different things, and it's like, wow, this is cool, a rock band doing these songs. That's how the original Boogie Nights came about. They were doing one of their regular Roxanne gigs. They got hired to do a second set of, if they could do like maybe 6 or 7 disco songs, like a double set, but they'd come out dressed as disco figures. From that, it snowballed into a regular weekly gig for them. It snowballed into this whole, it basically took over their entire lives. It took over everything that they were striving for as an original band, because now they had no time to do the original stuff. They were too busy doing these disco gigs. I used to see them all the time. I used to go watch them every week because in between albums I had so much time to kill. Talisman rarely toured much. The Axel tours, they wouldn't last any more than a month. In between recordings, I was sitting on my ass at home, not really doing a whole hell of a lot. And so I used to go out and see these guys anyways. They were so busy, they were branching off into other variations of disco bands and bringing in their friends to start other versions of the Boogie Nights, that they actually approached me and asked me if I'd want to sing in one of the sister bands. And I thought, yeah, 1 or 2 gigs a week, be fun, kill some time, make extra money while I'm sitting at home doing nothing. I go see these guys anyways. Now I can actually go up there and have a good time. After about 5 or 6 months of doing one of the sister bands, the main band, Boogie Nights, approached me and said, we're thinking of having you come to the main band, the A band. And it was quite a commitment. It was really, now instead of me just killing time and doing something to leisurely get by my weeks and months that I wasn't doing recordings or touring, now was a full-time commitment of I have to leave all of that behind for a while. And part of my decision was the whole grunge scene, the whole Seattle thing that came and went, really just overshadowed everything I was doing, was trying to do musically. I really didn't have any place in music at that time. I was so frustrated. We were doing Talisman records and I was doing a lot of sessions and things that I didn't want to do, but I was doing them because I needed the money. And it was a really frustrating time for me that I gleefully took the Boogie Nights thing on and said, you know what, I'm just going to lay low for a while. I'll give this a year or two and have some fun with these guys, make some great cash, because these guys used to make more than doctors and lawyers every year. And next thing I knew, I was in it for 5 years. Going ahead of myself here, I left after 5 years with them because I realized not only am I not getting any younger, but I finally found a comfortable niche musically. I know where I need to be, I know where I want to be musically, and the only way to get back into it is to do it now. I don't want to be 45 years old still putting on a disco wig and saying, yep, this was basically the beginning of the end for me. I have so much more still to accomplish in this business, and it was time to get back to work, and no better way to do that than to release a solo album.
With the really limited touring opportunities with Axel Rudi Pell and with Talisman, did Boogie Nights serve as kind of a surrogate touring experience?
Yeah, I guess it did, because we literally played, I think I got about an average of 2 to 3 weeks off a year, literally. But we played 3 to 4 nights a week every year for 5 years straight, with maybe 3 weeks off a year. And that's an insane amount of singing and playing. I mean, we're doing hundreds of shows a year. And that's more than most bands that go out on tour, because most bands that will go on tour, once the tour is done, they'll take a few months off.
Sure.
They'll take, they even take weeks off in between tours, in between legs, for either traveling or just to take a little break in between. We were just nonstop from the 1996 to 2001 when I left the band, non-stop. So it really started to take a toll on my voice. It took a toll on my social life and my well-being. And as well, it started really just eating away at me, that I wasn't really accomplishing what I set out to accomplish in this business, and that was to be a successful performer-singer. All I was doing there was paying the bills and being able to buy the house and the boat and all that stuff that normally comes along with being a quote-unquote rock star,
right,
without the status behind it. To me, I wanted the status and the reward of of creating and touring and doing my own music, sans a wig and platform shoes.
This almost goes without saying, but do you think the Boogie Nights experience made you a better showman?
Absolutely. I put a lot of what I did naturally onto the Boogie Nights stage, but because I was doing it night after night after night, I didn't have as much of that touring experience prior to that. I mean, now my show is so influenced. It's so much more flowing than it would have been, say, the early Yngwie days, for instance, or even the early Talisman days. I watch old videos and old things there, and it's such a different world now because of my years I spent with Boogie Nights on stage.
Now, about the same time you hooked up with Boogie Nights, there came a hiatus from Talisman, and you came out with your first solo album, Love Parade.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it probably left a lot of people wondering, is this the same guy that I knew from Yngwie Malmsteen?
Love Parade was kind of my rebellious state. I got to the point where I was so sick of all the stereotypes. When Love Parade came out, it was almost 10 years to the date that I joined Yngwie, and I was still getting the former Yngwie singer, the ex-Yngwie singer, former metal shouter, that type of thing. And that whole Glenn Hughes frustration thing that we were discussing earlier was finally starting to eat at me, to the point where I said, you know, that's it. I'm going to do a solo album, and I'm going to do an album that has nothing to do with anything that I've done today. And if they don't like it, f*** it. And that was my attitude. I really just did an album for me, and I didn't really care about the circumstances or the backlash of the fans that I had before, because back then I was thinking, you know what, if I lose all those fans, it's the best thing that could happen to me. Because I honestly was so sick of hearing I'm a Viking is my favorite song. I wanted to hear something a little more pop oriented or something a little more commercial oriented was their favorite song. So I really did Love Parade as a protest statement to everything that I'd done to date. And of course I got a lot of backlash. I knew it would be. I knew it wouldn't get many people that would like it. But on the other hand, I also didn't gain any new audiences from it. I didn't. Maybe you blamed on promotion or marketing, but I didn't really get any new notoriety from it. So where I lost people that normally would have backed me up had I done an album they expected, I also didn't gain anybody, and the album just kind of went.
Were some of those feelings coming out in the material that was represented on Humanimal? I mean, the Talisman's Humanimal.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was the same frustration Marcel started feeling, that everything that we had done to that point was reflective upon I'll Be Waiting and Break Your Chains, and he wanted us to get out of that whole mold just the same. He didn't want people to expect that that's the kind of band that we were going to be from that point onward. And I was influencing him into a whole new spectrum of things. We used to listen to Terence Trent D'Arby and Sam Cooke and all these different things that he never even discovered before. Never would have even given the time of day. But now he loved it so much, it was influenced the way he was thinking, it was influencing the way he was writing, and it got to the point where he didn't want to just do the straight head rock stuff. He wanted more groove, he wanted more soulfulness behind it that still had the energy of the groove. And I think Humanimal is a great representation of a kind of a musical metamorphosis, evolution type of thing of Talisman that, again, helped and hurt us at the same time, because there were a lot of people that they wanted I'll Be Waiting and Break Your Chains, and we were giving Color My Ecstasy and Tainted Pages, you know.
Right.
And to me, it was a musical growth. It wasn't a decline. If anything, it was an incline for us, because it gave us an opportunity to really branch out and spread our wings.
Now, with that out of your system, that same period also brought 2 albums from Human Clay, which I guess in some ways could be seen as a harder Talisman.
The first Human Clay album, quite honestly, was consisting of a lot of material it was a lot of rejected material from Talisman days. When we were demoing up songs for, say, the Genesis album, and maybe leftovers from even the first album, that's where a lot of those original Human Clay ideas came from. We started Human Clay as another outlet, as an excuse to actually work together. We never really intended to follow up with it or to make a band out of it or for it to even be successful. It was really just an excuse for Marcel to fly to the States and for us to hang out and continue working, but without bastardizing or continuing the Talisman name, because it wasn't Talisman, because it wasn't, even the production and the songs to me weren't up to the standard of Talisman. but it just gave us a chance to open up another bottle of vodka. That's how I looked at it.
The second Human Clay album, Euphoria, it's actually the first time we see the new version of Talisman working together. There was yourself, there was Marcel, Jamie Borger helped out with drums on that album, and working behind the board we have Pontus Norgren.
Yeah. Again, the Swedish rock community is such a small one. Everyone knows each other, everyone's played with each other in some form or capacity. That and Pontus was not only known for his musician skills, he was very known for his engineering skills, whether it be behind the boards in the studio or behind the boards live. So Marcel always tries to surround himself with the best, and of course when he hooked up with Pontus and realized when it was time to put Talisman back together, he was the obvious choice for guitar player for it.
So was Pontus asked to join at that time?
Absolutely.
Pontus brought a little bit of a different sound to Talisman for the Truth album.
Yeah.
What was fan reaction to that album?
In the beginning, we kind of got the backlash of Diver Down Part 2, because Van Halen's Diver Down had all the covers. We had 3 covers on the album. Maybe some of the other B material wasn't as strong. Maybe the album to most people was scattered. It seemed like it could have been amazing, but it just, right where it started getting good, it went downhill, and it was just too sorted. There was no real structure. There was no real format as to what we could and should have done with that album. I think production suffered a bit. That was our first outing with John Ellis mixing it, but even he did the best in bringing out the album's contents. I think I was so wrapped up and involved with the Boogie Nights at the time that I wasn't able to really structure my time and really concentrate on everything that needed to be done, not only on my performances, but what we were doing, because I am credited as a co-producer on it, and in doing that, it's my role to make sure that the focus of the album is there.
When we spoke about 2 years ago, you made the announcement that Talisman was no more as of 2000. And then in the summer of 2001, you made an appearance at the Sweden Rock Festival.
Right.
How did all that come back into play?
We never really said Talisman was no more, though.
I guess maybe that it wasn't put to bed, really.
Right.
But it was put aside for a while.
Right. I think it was more put aside because it was Marcel's decision that he didn't want to spend the months and the time writing and recording albums that weren't properly marketed and doing well, and he got into his whole doctor's studies of psychology, and he was full-time in school. So at that time there was not going to be any Talisman. There wasn't going to be anything that we were going to be doing together because he just didn't have the time.
Talisman minus Jamie Borger earlier this year released the album Humanimal by the band Humanimal, which is probably really confusing to a lot of people because Talisman had the band or the album Humanimal. Help us sort this out a little bit.
Well, Humanimal was a project that came up between Marcel and Pontus that they were going to do on Zeb Records overseas in the UK. It was a label that Pontus was working with, and originally it was supposed to be a concept album with different singers, including myself. And somewhere along the way, I guess it became too apparent that in doing a concept album, they would have problems promoting it, marketing it. They wouldn't have the same kind of response if they released it as a band album. So they decided, let's just go with one singer, let's just go with it looking and sounding more like a band. I still, as far as I was concerned, was still just a hired gun for that album. And I didn't really put a whole lot of involvement. I wasn't part of the production, I wasn't part of the normal things that I get involved with when I'm doing stuff with Marcel. I basically came in and sang, got my stuff done, and said, see you guys later, kind of the same way as the first Talisman album. They promoted it in a way that it looked and sounded like a band, but aside of the turmoils that occurred between Marcel and Pontus later along the way, and between the record company as well, we decided that was definitely just going to be a one-off, a debut-only type of situation, which today, despite the rumors that there will be a follow-up to Humanimal, there will not be.
A lot of fans were probably surprised to find out, just months after the Humanimal project came out, that Talisman was resurrected with Fredrik Åkesson back on board.
Åkesson is the
Åkesson.
proper. Yeah, Fredrik came back after a decision based on, do we continue with yet another new guitar player and another addition to the band and trying to reform and trying to reestablish it was starting to turn into a Red Hot Chili Pepper situation with all these different guitar players. And the obvious way to go for us was to actually, if we're going to continue without Pontus, is to go back to where we actually came from. And when we presented the idea to Frederick, he was all game, he was all for it.
Shifting gears a little bit here, a lot of your vocal style seems to harken back to your love of the band Queen.
Mm-hmm.
And a few years ago you told me a wonderful story about your first meeting with Brian May of Queen. Do you remember that story?
Yep, I can give it to you in detail. 3 years ago, we just finished a Truth album. Brian May had released his second solo album, and I remember him touring quite a bit for his first solo album. And after listening to this one, I thought maybe Brian, just, I don't know, out of a whim, for my respect and love for the Queen music, I thought Brian might actually someday contemplate actually having a front man. Maybe thinking he'd want somebody to front the band and he could actually play guitar and sing, as opposed to fronting the band and singing, having to be stuck behind the mic the whole night. So on that whim, I decided to compile some material that was Queen oriented, including the Queen covers I'd done on the tribute album, etc. And then my next step was to try to find someone that could get it to him, since I'd never met anybody or anybody within his camp. While I was looking for a way to get the material to Brian, I ran across a recent posting that said that Queen were finally considering doing a reunion. They were possibly looking for a singer, or they might be looking for a singer, or they might just go on it on their own, the three of them. And I didn't know how true or how recent the rumors were, but the actual posting was not even a month old. So I figured, geez, I'm trying to send stuff for Brian. I should be sending some stuff, possibility of seeing they might be interested in checking me out. I mean, I have my own little legion of fans and followers from the stuff that I've done, but nowhere near the household name that I would think I would need to even be considered for a band like Queen. So it was as shot in the dark getting this stuff to Brian as it was getting my demo to Yngwie back in 1984. My persistence and just my personal ambitious self just decided, nothing ventured, nothing gained. I finally hesitantly got the fan club organization to get my material over to Brian. After they reviewed it, they absolutely loved it, and they were convinced that Brian needs to hear this immediately. And luckily, I got through to them, because it was through them that got it to Brian, in which I got a nice handwritten letter, politely written from Brian, and thanking me for the material and saying he'd heard of me through the grapevine, through the years, my years with Yngwie, etc., saying he'd love to work with me in the future, blah, 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 just, very polite letter. And I thought it was even just nice enough for him to take the time to write to me. Shortly after that, I was told that the fan club were holding an annual Freddie Mercury birthday party that they all get together, and they do like a huge party of like over 1,000 people in his tribute. And at this particular show, they got a band called the SAS Band, which is Spike Edney. He's the keyboard player that was on tour with Queen towards the latter part of the years when they were still touring. He's also the keyboard player for Brian May's solo band. A lot of Queen-oriented involved projects. He's got a band called the Spikes All-Star Band, the SAS Band, which also feature members of Brian May's touring lineup, Neil Murray on bass, Jamie Moses on guitar, who's played with a number of huge stars in Europe. And he assembles these people with a bunch of different singers, a bunch of different people that come up and do just all cover songs, but really cool versions of cover songs. Kind of like what the Boogie Nights did to disco music, these guys do to these cover tunes. And that particular night they were performing, and Brian was slated to come up and do a few numbers with them as well. I got wind of that through the fan club, and they said if you could make your way over, we could arrange for you to actually go up and stay with Brian. And to me, that was probably more of a dream come true than anything that's happened to me in my musical career. Even just the opportunity to be on to share the same stage with Brian May, or any member of Queen for that matter, was such a thrill for me that I took the opportunity to make my way to London for it. I was still in the Boogie Nights at the time, so I was doing 2 nights here in Vegas, Wednesday, Thursday night, performed until like 3:30 in the morning. By 5:30 in the morning I was at the airport going back to LAX. By 7:30 in the morning I was on a flight from LAX to London. I landed, I went and got showered, and within hours of taking a shower. I was on a 2-hour train up to Reading, which was up north, and arrived and barely any sleep behind me, just complete adrenaline. Was introduced to Brian and went backstage, worked up the songs that we were going to do with no rehearsals. We went up there and winged it. It was great. And now we fast forward 3 years later. I've done a few things throughout the fan club. They do a Queen convention every year where they have Queen tribute bands or bands doing Queen music, blah, blah, blah. I've involved myself with that in joining them on stage and doing certain things, and I've gotten quite a little respect going there with a lot of the Queen fans. They know my love for the band. I share the same respect and the same love for the music, and they see that transpiring the way I perform it on stage, to the point where they're like, my God, what a great idea, collaboration, someday you working with the band. I mean, that would be a dream come true for me. We fast forward to October this year, 2002, where Queen were getting their star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. They were coming to LA to be, you know, presented with this, and as well they slated an after gig performance, like a party type of thing, and asked that I come up and join them for a few songs at that. So I guess my persistence and 3 years ago getting myself to Brian has paid off in the sense that now I'm part of that little clique of, you know, where they were just my absolute idols. Now I can actually share an email or a phone call with Brian May, and you know, and go out to dinner with Roger, and it's a dream come true for me. Probably one of my biggest musical memories and experiences in my entire life.
After contributing to several movie soundtracks where you felt inclined to hide your identity, what did you think when the opportunity came along to do vocal work for the movie Rockstar?
That was I was very excited with that, and I was very happy that I got the gig, because originally when I auditioned for the vocal part, I was supposed to be doing Mark Wahlberg's voice. They thought my voice was a little too rough, a little too seasoned sounding, where Mark was supposed to sound more like a kid, more like he was still green, still not so professional, I guess, or veteran-like. So they decided that I would be the voice for the guy that he replaces in the movie, which I was still glad to keep, but I just wanted to be involved in the entire thing because I had so many friends involved in the lineup of the band that appeared in the movie, as well as Tom Warman, who produced the soundtrack. I'd worked with Tom many a time on background vocals, doing Lita Ford, Striper, Babylon AD, Steelheart. I sang on so many records that he produced, and so many years that I worked with him. We always said, man, it would be so cool if we could do an actual album where you're producing me singing lead, and finally got to do that with the Rockstar thing.
And then you're also presented with the opportunity to do vocal work for the movie Queen of the Damned, and that opportunity quickly disappeared. What happened with that?
I got called in to do that originally when Sony is the label that Korn is on. Jonathan Davis from Korn did all the writing, composing of the score of the Queen of the Damned music with another writer, Richard Gibbs, and he also provided the vocals for the movie. It's the same kind of situation that I've already done with Rockstar, where somebody in the movie was going to lip sync to his voice. When it came to the actual soundtrack, Warner Brothers wanted to obviously release an album soundtrack with him, and Sony said, absolutely no way, we have a new Korn album coming out, there's no way Jonathan's voice will appear on the soundtrack. So they were up against the wall with how we're going to release a soundtrack album with these songs when he's not going to be on them. They, without going for the full search and everything, luckily through mutual friends of Richard Gibbs, I was brought in to audition, so to speak. Once Jonathan gave the approval that I'd be perfect for it, I went in and did the vocals. Before all of that happened, originally the album soundtrack was supposed to be released on Aaliyah's label, who was one of the stars in the movie. When the original idea was those songs, including some of her songs unreleased from previous albums, or maybe even one for the actual movie, intentionally made for the movie. I don't know what the exact politics around it were, but unfortunately she died in a plane crash just shortly before all these decisions were supposed to be finalized and made of exactly what was going to happen. I was officially going to be replacing Jonathan's voice for the album soundtrack, but once she passed away, it was a little period of mourning. There was no way the actual business was going to be brought up until the family were ready to discuss and deal with exactly what they were going to do, if it was going to continue the way it was originally planned. And then not even weeks after her passing was the whole September 11th incident, which changed everything for everybody. So I thought the movie probably won't even see the light of day now, based on all the circumstances. Eventually everybody got through it, decisions were made that I was still to go forward and replace his vocals. We did the tracks, they came out amazingly, 5 tracks. During that time, like maybe a month within that time, Aaliyah's label, which is family run, they decided they were going to close the doors on the label. They were no longer interested in releasing the album on on their label. And that's where Warner Brothers came in and picked up the album soundtrack, but they said, well, who's this Jeff Scott Soto guy? And there's no way we'll be able to market the album with his voice on it. So therefore I was replaced with all the current guys, a guy from Linkin Park, Marilyn Manson, Wayne Static from Static X, the singer from Orgy. You know, they got all the current new metal guys to come in and redo all the songs that I'd already done. So it was one of those executive decisions I had to live with. There's nothing I could really do about it, and it was a great experience. I can just chalk it up with that.
What did Jonathan Davis think of your reworking these songs?
I think he really liked it. I think he was really surprised at the fact that I was able to capture almost identical to what he did. I mean, he's got such a quirky voice. He's got a unique voice for what he does, and what he does well. I'm not that type of singer, but I'm very good with emulating. I'm very good with impersonating things if I hear them and do them immediately afterwards. So,
right. As you prepare for a tour in 2003, is there any chance you'll throw together an impromptu lineup to do some warm-up shows in your LA hometown area?
Probably not, only because with doing these kind of things, there's so much involved in making it happen, and quite honestly, I'm not interested in as much as I want to play for the few fans that I do have generated in these scattered areas of the U.S. Unless I could do something where I could get a good generation of attendance, there's no real reason to do it.
What kind of tour bill would you like to get on?
Quite honestly, I'd do just about anything, because the kind of tour that I'd be doing, I'm going to be doing so many factors of music. We could fit on a heavy tour, we could fit on a more pop rock tour.
Would you gear your set accordingly?
Probably, yeah, I'd probably factor it in that way. But on the other hand, I'd rather just do a club tour headlining on my own, just because then I can just call all the shots of exactly what I want to do.
Would you gear your set list more towards what you wanted to do or what you thought fans would want to hear?
Absolutely what the fans want to hear, 100% what the fans want to hear. And I've actually done that, I've had that established on my website, that we're doing sort of a poll. You get to choose what Jeff Scott Soto will do on the tour, so to speak. And giving the fans to actually vote for the songs that they want to hear, and we're going to base the set demographically on where the most votes are coming from, and that's why we've even set up the poll for them to include the country they're writing it in from.
In the liner notes for Prism, why did you thank the Cedars-Sinai medical staff for help restoring your voice?
I recently had throat surgery at the beginning of 2002. As a result of my many years with the Boogie Nights, I developed a couple little nodules in my throat, nothing life-threatening, just little nuisances when I was trying to hit my top end, my top range. So had them removed, and with the healing time that's passed, everything's coming back together.
With everything you have going on, does it sometimes get to become overload, either for yourself or for the fans who are trying to catch up with you?
Maybe more for them than it is for me. Honestly, if I'm not complaining at the end of the day that I have too much on my plate and I have no time to do anything else, I'm not happy. I always have to be doing something to further my career, and even just to feel like I'm being creative, or I don't know, I can't stand sitting back. I can't stand not doing something.
The new album called Cats and Dogs from Talisman comes out this, I believe you said May of 2003. Where did the title come from?
This was something Marcel came up with. He said, back in the day, they used to do concept albums when albums were released on vinyl, where you'd have, like Queen 2, for instance, had a white side and a black side. Even on the album, they were dressed all in black, and it was a very dark image, and then you flip it over, and they were all dressed in white and fur, and it was very angelic looking. And even the songs were categorized in the way they sounded as the fitting in the white side and the black side. It's kind of the dark side and light side of life. And so originally, because Talisman's music derives so many different styles, whether it be heavy or light, we were going to take half the album that was on the lighter side and put it on the cats, which is more the feline female end of things. More of the females usually like the lighter side of what we do,
Right.
and the cats or the dogs will be for more of the canines who love that really aggressive energy stuff. But the way the actual breakdown of the songs turned out, it didn't really. There were way too many songs on the dog side. There were only like 4 songs that would fit on the cat side. So even to this, as we're speaking now, the title could change along the way based on the fact that it doesn't really work on that concept.
It's actually one of the first non-religious themed album titles for Talisman, after Genesis, Life, Truth, and the same with Takara, really, Eternal Faith. We have a lot of religious undertones.
Yeah, I don't think they're more religious as they are more general. We've never, ever tried to relate those under religious undertones. It was always whatever seemed appropriate for the generalness of the albums. It's Genesis was something Marcel came out with. Life, we titled after the song A Life on the live album. Truth, the original concept of the album cover was supposed to be a beautiful woman looking into a mirror and actually coming back with distorted visuals, sort of like what's on the outside is not necessarily on the inside. Kind of a Twilight Zone-ish kind of concept, but the album the cover didn't come across the way the idea came across, and that's why it was supposed to be, what is the truth, what you see on the outside or the inside. Eternal Faith and all the other ones, I think they were just based on the music, the faithfulness eternally for that style and genre of music, and I don't think there was, especially for those guys, there was no religious undertones.
So you're not a sheep in wolf's clothing.
No.
Now, Cats and Dogs, or whatever it's going to be titled from Talisman, when it comes out, was it pushed off till the summer so it doesn't really overlap and fight your other projects at the cash register?
Yeah, not really the cash register, more so as the oversaturation of product. I don't think people are more concerned about how much they'll make as much as putting too much of me and overexposing me again, the way I was doing back in the mid-90s, so to speak. When there was Axel, there was my album, there was Takara, there was Gary Schutt's, there was so many albums coming out simultaneously, it was ridiculous.
How would you describe the current Talisman sound?
This album, to me, every time I listen to it, it excites me the same way the Humanimal album back in '94 excites me.
Now, these new releases you've come out with are just the latest in a long, long line of product that you've had come out since '84. How many total albums have you appeared on?
Lead vocally, I stopped counting after about 40.
Yeah, that's not even counting backing tracks or...
Right, and other sessions, and as I said, I have about another 40 albums worth of other material that nobody's even heard, so...
I think at last count you had approximately 40 albums that you did lead vocals on when I went through your discography.
And the Rolling Stones have what, about 28?
You're ahead of the game, you can retire for a while.
Yeah, exactly. Well, my wallets aren't as bad as theirs.
And that's not mentioning or even factoring in the tribute albums you've done.
Right.
Ozzy, Queen, Aerosmith.
Right. I don't really factor those in because I wasn't really, those weren't my albums. They were just appearances, but I know what you mean.
Now, one of the latest ones is the Pink Floyd tribute album that you did. You did the song Us and Them. Did you pick that song?
No. They gave me a choice to choose one out of 2, and I'll usually choose out of those 2 which one I'd like to do, but they never give me a choice of 10 to choose the one from.
It was a great performance of that song, but it kind of seems like your talent was wasted on that song.
Yeah,
it didn't ask much of you. Right?
Yeah, it was very just. I could have done that song in my sleep.
Do you have a favorite of the tributes you've done?
I'd like to say "Save Me" off the Queen tribute album, but unfortunately I did that song while I was still in half Boogie Nights and half throat nodule mode. So you hear a lot of roughness in that track. Aside of that, the Aerosmith one that I did and the Van Halen one I did, I thought were great.
Now you've obviously got a million things going on at any given time. Just this year we have several special appearances you've made overseas. You have a new fan book that came out in Germany. Where can fans get the final word on all things Jeff Scott Soto?
When I decide to finally chronicle my entire life and take all these interviews and take all these sessions and finally just open the book myself, there really isn't one thing that personifies me. Even the word prism is, the album's entitled that, not necessarily because the material of the album is a reflection of my career, but just the fact that my entire career is a prism. It's got so many reflections and different sides and mirrors and images that I've given off, that there's still so many other ones that on the other side of the prism that have yet to be seen. And that's how I try to base my entire life in my career, is as a prism-like structure or an object.
And if fans want to check in on the latest things you've been doing, where can they do that?
www.jeffscottsoto.com. Easy enough.
Very good. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, man.
If I cried you a river, let me tell you that I'm sincere. 'Cause I tried to deliver, but I still fell short of making it there. When I let go, that's when you know I'm done. From this holding on, vows left in stone, jealousy on the run. Without you now, it's time I'm gone. God's 2002. It's a sound. Hey! Let me welcome you, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to say hello. Are you ready for some entertainment? Are you ready for a show? Gonna rock you, gonna roll you, get you dancing in the aisles. Jazz you, razzmatazz you with a little bit of style. Let me entertain you. Let me entertain you. Let me entertain you. Let me entertain you. I've come here to sell you my body. I can show you some good merchandise. I'll pull you and I'll peel you. I'll cruel and severe you. To thrill you, I'll use any device. We'll give you crazy performance. We'll give you ground 24s. We'll give you pistol resistance and a tour de force. Of course! Now we found the right location. Lots of pretty lights. Sound and amplification. Listen! If you need a fix, if you want a hot stick, we see to that. Howard, Gary, Poppy, gonna show you where it's at. Let me entertain you. Let me ready to do this? Wake up, it's time to find out you're on your own. Get up, stand up, you better face it, you're all alone. Who will catch you when you fall? Who will hear you when you go? There's only one thing you must do. You know what that is, come on, sing along. So break your chain. And I will always be there. Break your chains. We can love, we can share. I will never let you down. I'm right before you're ready. Tell yourself you won't believe it. Make everything alright. I will catch you when you fall, yeah. I will hear you when you go. There's only one thing you must. You gotta do, baby. Break your chain. And I will always be there. Break your chain. We can love, we can share. Let me see some hands, put some hands up. Howie Simon on the guitar. Break your chain, and I will always be there. Yeah. Break your chain. We can love, we can share. Break your chain, and I will always be there. Break your chain. We can love, we can share.
Are you guys tired? You gotta be able to make a little more noise than that. Come on, Gods 2002! Thank you so much for being here. Thanks to all of you who travel from all these different countries around Europe and all over the place to come here tonight. What's going on, man? We got some special things here for you tonight. I've assembled quite a bit of assortment of things a lot of you will recognize. If you guys know my past, you know my projects, my bands, I think you're gonna be happy with this next set. I'm gonna try something right here. I got a new album coming out on Frontiers Records by the end of this year. It's a song called How Long?
That ain't no way to treat me, 'cause I deserve better.
what you're thinking. Well, I can free your sexuality. No one's ever tortured you with pleasure, yeah. Pleasure's all you'll ever feel from me. Stand up and shout. Come on, sing it. Stand up, stand up, stand up and let it out. Stand up and shout. Oh yeah. Stand up, stand up, stand up. I just want to see you in the garden, dressed up as you came into this world, yeah. Shining through the candle of deception, lighting up the underlying world. Oh! Stand up and shout. Stand up, stand up, stand up and let it out. Stand up and shout. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Stand up and shout! Tonight! Come on! Stand up and shout! Stand up! Stand up! Stand up and let it out! Stand up and shout! Stand up! Stand up! Stand up! Thank you so much. Oh man, is it hot in here or what? I don't know, I don't get it. You guys don't believe in ice in your drinks and air conditioning in your buildings. What's going on here? All right, we're gonna do another song. Another song off this this new solo album I got coming out. I don't want to bore you with these new songs since you don't know them yet, but I want to kind of display them, get them out to you to get a glimpse of what's happening before it comes out. So this next one's called Eyes of Love. Tell me you want everything that I have, but every time I try to give, all you do is bringing me down. Yeah, yeah.
searching for another day, on a broader way. Just a cold assassin in a modern time of senseless hate. It's all about survival. Vicious and cold, with a passion to rule and control. In for the kill, with a hunger to take your mind and soul. Don't let go. Get it out. Reign of the warrior. Get it out. It's the reign of the warrior. Enter into battle. More casualties lie just ahead, 'cause you fight to the end. Malicious contentment. You're on the spotlight of no man's land. They'll hunt you down again. Vicious and cold, with a passion to rule and control. In for the kill, with a hunger to take your mind and soul. Don't let go. Get it out. Reign of the warrior. Get it out. It's the reign of the warrior. Get it out. Fight of the warrior. Get it out. It's the fight of the warrior. Vicious and cold, with a passion to rule and control. In for the kill, with a hunger to take your mind and soul. Baby, don't let go. Get it out. Reign of the warrior. Get it out. It's the reign of the warrior. Get it out. Fight of the warrior. Get it out. It's the fight of the warrior. Get it out. Reign of the warrior. Fight to the victory. Get it out. It's the fight of the warrior. Warrior. Warrior.
You guys are too cool, thanks. Well, I'm thanking all of you for coming out here tonight. I also want to thank Mark Ashton, Now and Then. I want to thank Serafino and all his partners at Frontiers Records for bringing us out here tonight. It's a pleasure to be here in front of you all tonight. I feel honored and privileged to be on this stage with some of these bands that are up here tonight, especially Eric Martin, Hardline. I mean, these guys, we were right along the same fucking beaten path back in the 80s, 90s, and right up here in the 2000s. Really quickly, we'll keep this going by, let's start over here on my right. A man I've known for a lot of years. He's been there through thick and thin for me. He's played on a lot of records, a lot of things I've done. Mr. Gary Schutt on the bass. Back here on the drums, my partner, my compadre, my brother, Mr. Alex Papa on the drums. This man over here needs no introduction, therefore he gets none. Some of you might know him from his work with Ken Tamplin, my good friend, Mr. Howie Simon, on the guitar. As well, we got is he up here? We got somebody coming up here. This is a last minute thing we worked out this afternoon. Had no idea we were gonna do this. We kind of threw it in the last minute. I hope you dig it. Where's he at? Is he here? David Lee Roth? No, he's not here. Oh, there he is. Come here, man. You guys might know him from Humanimal, from Talisman, from Great King Rat, his own solo shit. Mr. Pontus Norgren is gonna join us for a song. Speaking of Humanimal, we're gonna do something off that one and only debut album. Are we good, baby? Give me some of that.
Look into the
Thank you, man. Come on now, make some noise. We got mics set all over the place. We got a mobile outside. I think you know what that means. Maybe I'll spell it out for you. We're doing a live album and a live DVD here tonight. So I'm gonna need you guys' help on this next song. I know at least 80% of you know it, if you know anything about the band Talisman. And it goes like this. If you need somebody, call out my name. I'll be waiting right by your side tonight. I've heard the words out on the street. Your love is much in danger. No, I can't hear the tears of pain. See the cries of anger. Let me hear you. If you let me know, we can chase a night away. Everybody in the house, 'cause if you need somebody, come on, call out my name. So I'll be waiting right by your side. 'Cause everything changes, love will remain. And I'll be waiting right by your side tonight. Inside and outside, upside down, this merry-go-round you give in for. Tell me the reasons why you're coming back to the same old story. So turn on this side, come on. I can be the one. We'll dance and romance until the morning light. All together now, 'cause if you need somebody, call out my name. I'll be waiting right by your side. Everything changes, love will remain. I'm waiting right by your side. Yeah, yeah. We can chase the night away, yeah. That's for the people who only buy the live album. They have no idea what I'm doing. Bobby, give me the beat. That's it. You got some hands up. Let me see the rest of them. Come up. If you need somebody, 'cause I'll be waiting. 'Cause everything changes. 'Cause I'm waiting. So if you need somebody, said I'll be waiting. 'Cause everything changes. 'Cause I'll be waiting. So if you need somebody, call out my name. I'll be waiting right by your side. Everything changes, but love will remain. I'm waiting tonight. They're pretty good, huh? Huh, two, huh, 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 hey! Girl, what's on your mind? I got something to say to you. I die for you every time. You fantasy if you want me to be. Can't let you go. Can't let you go. It's so mysterious. So let me know. 'Cause I gotta know. This time it's serious. Sounds after 70 years. That what he goes there for is to unlock the door. While those around him criticize and sleep, yeah. Through a fractal on a brick and wall, now I see you, my friends, and touch your face again. Miracles will happen as we speak, yeah, yeah. Oh, give me here. No, we're never gonna survive unless we get a little crazy. Come on, sing it. No, we're never gonna survive unless we are a little crazy. In a heaven of people, there's only someone to fly. And I was in that crazy. In a sky full of people, there's only someone to fly. And I was in that crazy. In a world full of people, there's only someone to fly. And I was in that crazy. Oh baby, oh darling. In a world full of people, there's only someone to fly. And I was in that crazy. Lay your body down, come a little closer. The night belongs to you and me. Oh baby, and there's no denying the things I wanna do with you. Just dreaming about you, every motion is driving me crazy. And if I try to tell you what you mean to me, I'd only lose those words. Oh mama, the one thing that's true is I won't let you go. No, no. And if you ever lonely, there were nights when I thought we could make it. Nights when you left me by myself. My imagination ran away with me. I was sure you were with someone else. There were days I knew you had to fake it, just to put a smile on your face. Remember the night I called you to say I thought I needed some space, but oh, we hung in there. We knew we were right, and yes, it was worth it. 'Cause here we are, like a silent breeze, heaven sent like an angel. 'Cause I knew I'd tear apart two hearts left to wander. Can two lovers turn strangers, pretend through the night love is alive? Oh, just between us, lies can wait until the morning dawn. Oh, just between us, tonight we will be as one. Every time I catch myself, I'm thinking of you. I see your face in the sky in the moon. I lose my cool whenever you come around. I tremble in fear when your voice makes a sound. Then I hit the ground. Every glance, you paralyze me. And every chance you sneak another by me, yeah. 'Cause I'm stranded, stranded. I don't know what to do. 'Cause I'm stranded, stranded. But I thought of you, thought of you.
Jeff Scott Soto!
You say the end of time is coming far too near. My love for life is torn in vain through all the years. What's the answer to the question that we have been searching for? Can you tell? Don't wanna fall apart before we have the chance to try again. I'm begging you, please. I'm begging you, please. I ain't gonna say it again. I guess I will say it again. We're on the run again. Outcast, I know it's right
night has gone, I feel I wanna do it all again. I'm hoping you feel the same. Years have gone since we were last together.
It's time for the real way of drinking the Swedish way.
Yes.
Ready, Howie?
Bring on the drinking.
10 minutes. The Swedish way.
Bring on the drinking.
Viking way of
Okay, I'm
drinking.
not bitching. Wait till you see someone falling. Fix it to my camera.
DVD. DVD.
Put it on. Like,
DVD.
it's on.
Damn, I can't sing anymore.
I just get mad.
Zig when I should have zagged.
I fucked up the lyrics of songs that were right in front of me.
And you know what? God bless the pod. Because if I had had the pod, 5 or 6 years ago, some tour made pods put over here, man, with the worst guitar sound. Bless the pod.
Huh? What?
Yeah.
Mine a bass pod.
During his butt for something that'll never use.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah.
That's why I'm inventing him.
Now it's official.
Send me this, send me that. And then when I get up to this, what the fuck did I back the whole setup for?
And they emphasized to me, the drummer was the only one that sent me anything. And
Exactly. They go to me, she told me, she goes, you were the only one that said everything so nice and perfect. Oh, what happened? What happened?
This will be the
Mom's
end
the
of
wrong
the
side. You know what I'm on my mother's picture. I'm on a symbol. Why is it still up there? Look at the symbol,
Comes again, bears its divine. I'll be by your side.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. 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 Not at all. Absolutely. 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 Oh, absolutely. 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 Nope. Nope. Yes. No. No. Not at all. No. Nope. Not at all. Yeah. 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 Absolutely. Really? Yeah. Absolutely. Yep. Probably not. Absolutely. Absolutely. No. Yeah. No. I hate lost for words. Let's see. Right. I'm trying to think of the good word for it. Ooh. I'll rephrase that. Let me start that over. I don't want Gary to edit this. Blah, 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 blah. Easy enough. Oh, geez, glasses. I can never answer that question. Gary Schutt, fuck him.